underneath it all, everything's actually all right. You're okay.
Why didn't you just eat before we started up, like everybody else?
Big back men with big back activities. I promise you.
Exactly.
Big y'all already. The day just started for us. We just got together. How
Yep.
you already doing something, Token?
Easy. I wake
He
up
just
on chaos,
doing shit.
I mean,
and I'm fueled by just pure chaos.
he don't even know how the world works anymore. He just has a tiny human being that like takes care of everything.
Really
now.
don't know how the world works no more.
All I know is baby, sometimes sleep.
Dead ass. You are right. You are absolutely right.
Watch your mouth.
Fair.
Bro, the last person that asked me something, I was like, okay. And they were like, that was a question, not a statement. I was like, my bad. I was wondering what I was going to feed my kid tonight. And she was like, no, she was like, didn't you just have the kid? I was like, oh, yeah, breast milk.
Yeah, it's not that hard of a question, bro. They're not at the age where they're like eating solids.
It's like the episode of
You have to come
SpongeBob.
up with a meal plan.
It's like the
I
episode of
know.
SpongeBob. Like, oh
But
my
my
god,
brain-
we forgot his name. And
Hey,
that's
hey,
I
Token.
know.
Hey,
So my
Token.
brain now, what?
I need to borrow some Cambodian breast milk. Can you send me some, please?
Hey, I ain't going to stunt. We got like 7 bags in the freezer, and we just keep it.
Hey,
Keeps
yeah,
pure
going.
Cambodian.
Not Cambodian.
100%
Her.
pure
That's,
Cambodian,
that's
man.
Danish or Norwegian or what are you again?
Breast milk.
No,
Norwegian.
Oh, God.
What are you again?
Yay.
Oh, God.
We barely started.
What are you again?
Oh,
It's crazy.
Wild.
No.
Wild. Wild.
If her response to what are you again was white, I would have died.
No, she said
I would have
Norwegian.
fell
We
out of
need a
my
better way to-
chair today. Show over. It's over. I'm
We need a
dead.
better way to ask that. Be like, what land do you hail from? Just be like that.
What land do you hail from?
Well, the problem is that
Ah!
I don't know.
Oh, she said 6 different breeds of psychos.
So we got what we got.
Yeah.
Ain't that awkward?
We got Irish.
So,
we got-
did you start the timer yet, Token? 18
Wait,
more
what timer?
years?
Oh.
18 years. 18 years. Something for 18 years.
Hey, don't you start with no Kanye verses, dog. Shut up.
Anyway,
As a
I want to take the moment to say good evening, everybody. Welcome to Start Button Live. We are going to entertain you tonight. We are actually going to discuss some things that you might actually want to hear. We're not going to talk about a whole lot, but we still might be here for the whole 2 hours. This is a safe haven for geeks, dweebs, blurs, nerds, gamers, and pretty much everything in between. You enjoy, manga, anime. If you don't enjoy none of it, just be here because we here. You know what I'm saying? You like us, we like you, and that's kind of how things work, isn't it? Like
We like them?
sometimes
I thought we
Shut
loved
up.
them.
I don't like you. Why are you talking?
Because
Anyway.
you love me.
So here with me,
Love.
we have, of course, Mr. Hustle Simmons.
Oh,
We also have, the very much loved Raijin, and apparently this featured dude Token.
Leave
We
Token
don't know when he's coming,
alone!
when he's
Yo,
not.
saying featured
Right.
dude Token is a wild
dude, it's crazy.
featuring Token.
Right?
Like, oh my god.
what is this? An episode of South Park featuring Token? Ooh,
Token.
wait.
I mean, you the one that chose to name yourself Token.
That is
I know.
very true.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the point.
You could have chose any fucking thing else too.
You're not even on Token. Time was a token. Going by
Yeah, true.
Let's
Yeah, true.
be fair. Let's be fair, because we're actually very lucky that I ain't called you Kenny already, because we've been wondering if Kenny's dead yet.
Wow.
That's crazy. He
Wow.
was here last week. He was here last week, wasn't he? Right?
Yeah,
You
he
know
was here
what?
last week. That's
You know
crazy
what?
that you don't remember that he was here last week. That's how
You know
often
what?
he's here. We were supposed to have you as part of the show. Now we kind of got you as a special guest feature.
He got a
Hope it's
whole
an
ass
Easter
baby.
egg. You have to look closely to see if he's there.
See, look,
Gotta look
there's
close.
still layaway.
I'm that
Apparently.
black.
You still got stuff on layaway?
Actually, I
Boy,
do.
boy.
Some diamond earrings
Why?
for her birthday.
Bruh, bruh. Anyway,
Yep.
so I actually want to let y'all know that I actually met up with Goji Senpai this week. I dropped him off one of those Gundam beta boxes. You know, dude's mad cool. So I'm looking forward to getting Goji further into the degeneracy of card games. I mean, he was already far gone, but now he about to come to my side.
I already pre-ordered.
You hear this?
I already pre-ordered the Final
The Gunpla?
Fantasy starter.
Oh, the Final
Magic
Fantasy
the
Magic the Gathering joint.
Yeah,
Which one? The one with
the
Cloud
one
and
that has Cloud
Sephiroth?
and Sephiroth. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Spider-Man pack, even though.
Oh yeah, they got the Spider-Man booster boxes coming
didn't
out.
see that.
Yeah, I might need to
They
read
just
that.
put it out the other day.
Yeah, I might
Look,
need
I
I'm
that.
gonna
just-
take
look.
them Johns. I'm gonna put them in like them plastic the like the plastic display
Mhm.
case for an individual card. And
One
they
of
ain't
these little
never
card
they ain't never
papers?
get touched by nothing.
Look, I got a question.
No.
Or-
I'm talking about like the hard case. Like
you talking about
ones
the
that
hard
they put
case
the
that you
vo-
could
the real
stand
value
up.
joints in?
Oh, you talking about the one that almost looks like it was graded, like you sent it out to the graded.
Yes.
customer.
Yeah,
The one
Yes.
that
I'm
one
doing that
like
with
a
the Cloud and
magnetic
Sephiroth
case or
card.
something.
I got a
I
question.
plan on doing that.
Did
with Cloud and
anybody
Sephiroth.
did anybody buy those the baseball / anime stuff like the jerseys, the hoodies and stuff like that?
Nah,
You-
I didn't see this, but I kind of want to get some of that One Piece Lakers gear. I'm not gonna lie.
You ain't wrong about that.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
gonna be scalped hard. I know some people who bought like
Yeah.
6 t-shirts.
6.
yeah,
Six of the same one.
Yes.
yeah, because those
Six.
gonna resell for a
Bro,
lot.
do you understand the scalper mentality that's going on in the One Piece culture right now?
No, I just wanted to make sure you said
And now it's about to hit
Not-
Gundam. Like, imagine if you want any Gunpla, right? But
Uh-huh.
the Gundam card game is about to get hot, and G-Quax is coming.
True.
yeah.
So, and they're pushing a live action movie and a tabletop game. Do you realize that every premium Bandai Gundam is going to sell out instantly? Everything Gundam gone. They're
Listen,
pushing
Look,
Gundam
I just wanted to
Planet.
make sure. I just want to make sure you said 6, not 60.
6,
6.
not 60.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't
Look.
be shocked.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
Some of these people be going to places with money. Like when I tell you this weekend coming up is going to be One Piece Day, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be a judge at One Piece Day. But this weekend coming up is One Piece Day. It's going to be basically 6 different regionals for the card game over 2 days. They're basically going to have 3 pods each day of 512 players side by side. And in addition to that, they're going to have a live concert from the Japanese singers for a couple of the intro songs. And they're also going to be doing things like a drone show and having just other activities going on. It's going to be a nice celebration down in Dallas. So, by all means, there probably will also be a stream, like a live stream of the events that happen. If I can get you guys a link while I'm gone, I'll definitely try to send that over. But it's not all cards, is basically what I was saying.
I was
So-
about to say what's up to the Swisher House people, but now remember that's Houston, not Dallas.
Yeah,
Houston and
Houston's
Dallas
a
are
whole different.
very different.
I'm about to say Houston's a whole different culture.
Houston and
my
Dallas
guy.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
Texas,
A whole
massively
different
different
culture.
Texas is like 4 different countries in one state.
Bruh.
Yeah.
California's like that
Yeah.
too. Matter of fact, California has 6 different climates.
True.
That is very
What?
true.
What?
No,
You said
dude,
6
go to
different
you go to
climates.
Northern
The
Cali.
different
It's
climates
cold
in
as shit.
California. San Diego is 65 degrees all year long.
Oh
Right
yeah.
at the water. 65 degrees all year long.
If you go to
That
Northern
sounds
Cali,
good.
where there's like mountains and shit, motherfuckers go skiing.
Yes.
Like
And
they
then
go
LA
Skiing in
is
Cali?
hot all
Yeah.
the time. Yes.
it
I
gets
live in
cold.
the
It snows.
entirely wrong state, bro.
Bro, California is like going from Florida to like Vermont. That's
Yeah.
how big California is.
That's actually the most accurate description I can give of California. in terms of,
Yeah,
like how
that's how
diverse it
big
is.
California is. So imagine all of the different climates that you have to go through, considering
You got
that.
deserts
So
too.
you mean to tell me across 7 hours I can go from the south to
7
the
hours.
Midwest? I mean, don't it take like 7
7?
hours to go from bottom of Cali to the top?
No. Are we talking
What?
about by car or plane?
By
By
Car.
cars come out.
No.
Bro,
You know how big California is?
It's like 2.5 to 3 hours from LA to San Diego.
Yeah.
oh god.
And both of those are in Southern California.
Oh no. 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 No.
15 hours.
15
What?
Yes.
I just said it's like going from Florida to Vermont or Florida to Jersey.
Shit.
Man, it takes
get
6
from-
hours to get from one end of Louisiana to mid Texas.
To get
Yeah.
from Imperial Beach, California, was like southernmost beach to Crescent City, which is northernmost, 14-hour drive. Crazy.
And
California
that's
is
not
one
and that's just
state.
the
Do you
most
not know
direct
that?
route.
Like,
Bruh,
it
14
doesn't look like it on the map, but California is
Yeah, it
huge.
don't. It don't. It does not. Like it took me 14 hours to get from Louisiana to Illinois.
Yeah. Think about that. You went from the bottom of the country to the top of the
To
country.
the top of the country. And
Yeah.
even to tell me it takes that long to get from the bottom of
Yes.
one state to the top.
Yes.
That's fucking insanity.
Yes.
All right, here's the best way. I
And
can
you were
describe it.
speeding.
If you look on a U.S. map of like California, right? Go
Allegedly.
look at what two states are about the same size of it. Nevada and Arizona are basically the same size as California.
And that's
Nevada?
as the curve of California.
Yeah.
Because California is kind of curved like this, so it looked like it's hugging the two states.
But if you were to stretch it out, it's probably bigger than both of them in terms of like the length
me
of the
see.
entire state.
I mean, the three
Nevada.
biggest states in the country are
Damn.
California, Texas, and Alaska. So
Wait.
Really, Alaska?
Alaska,
Alaska?
is humongous.
yeah.
Oh, it is.
Let
Bro,
me look at
Alaska. Bro, bro.
Let me go look at
Alaska's
Alaska.
literally
Oh my
like a
god!
oh my goodness.
I don't know how I've never noticed
How have
that.
we not noticed this?
Alaska is huge. It's bigger than I think you can take up Alaska. It's bigger than most of the EU combined. It's like,
Dude, Alaska
Never
is
wanna
half
live
the
in Alaska.
size of the United States.
Yeah.
But did you see Token's face light up? How do we not notice this?
who has this information? Who hid it from us?
Have you never seen a map before?
No, I was just being like,
Did you not own a globe as a kid?
we know who slept through geography class. That's all I got.
Yeah, right.
Oh my
To give
gosh.
Token some credit, to be fair, when it comes to Alaska, he has no excuse for California. When it comes to Alaska, we don't really. Let's be real. We don't pay attention to Alaska. Like, come on, man. We
Bro,
really
I knew
don't. It's not
Canada-
connected
I
to
knew
us directly.
Canada was huge, but Alaska though.
We don't really pay attention to Alaska, though. Let's be real, bro.
Did you know there's only a couple miles between Alaska and Russia?
If we didn't annex,
Yeah,
if we
I
didn't
did know
annex
that. I did know that.
territory from Canada.
Okay.
They
we
literally,
would Canada.
have a strip of water that you could like basically marathon swim across.
I wouldn't do it, but
Nobody said you had to, but you could.
I mean, it's some miles.
It's some distance. A little bit.
Don't
As
they
long
do
as
the
you don't
same
say
thing in
nothing
France
stupid
where
like-
they, where they
some
swim up a whole
islands in
canal?
between. But the rumor is that back in the day, that little strip of land, that little strip of whatchamacallit,
Water.
water was actually frozen over. And that was actually how the nomadic, early cultures traveled over into these lands, because there was a like a land bridge or an ice bridge that would connect that side to this side. So that is how we were supposed to have gotten indigenous
I
people.
said, you don't know about Pangea? Let's say
you don't know about Token. Don't know
Wait,
about
Pangea is
Pangea.
Wait.
a whole nother
Wait, hold
story.
on. First of all, because there were 6 other supercontinents before Pangea. Pangea was just the most recent one.
Oh yeah, but we all know civilization started in Africa, the region that would become Africa.
All right, we are not here to make super controversial comments and such.
But how? It's not controversial.
How is that controversial though?
It's not controversial. Anthropologists already figured that out. Like, what do we
Well, I
mean?
guess
Early-
wait. I guess it could be controversial if you start bringing flat earthers.
In 2024, it is.
No, the flat Earth thing. That's controversial because that's dumb.
I'm just saying, in 2024,
Earliest-
everything is controversial.
But the earliest human
Oh,
remains
everything's up
were
for
found
just
in
a toss-up,
Africa.
huh? 2024,
That's
everything's
a
a toss
fact.
up, huh?
And now we're in 2025, so
That's a fact, my
escalated
brother.
by the power of one.
Even controversy is controversial.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you can't disagree.
Mm-mm. Not wrong.
But what if
disagree
someone's like
Challenge
legitimately
accepted.
wrong though?
No, no.
There's
No.
literally
This man said challenge accepted. No.
But what if there's someone who's legitimately wrong though?
Wait.
are they?
Because they can
Yes!
argue. Yeah, because they can argue the point that wrong in your sense doesn't mean wrong in their sense because you have two frames of
Because
logic.
wrong is a perspective.
Yep. You have two frames of logic.
No, it's not.
That's great.
Right.
That's not the world we live in.
It is now.
No, I'm saying what
Problem.
Hustle said. He's like, that's wrong though. That's great. But people don't care about that no more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're not wrong. Yeah, you're right.
Like,
yeah, you're right.
like hustle. What color is the sky?
Blue. In the daytime.
Show about that.
Don't do this. Don't gaslight me, yo. Don't try to gaslight me over this. I'm on.
You
your
really
side.
fed into that first and foremost. Second of all, you believe the sky exists.
Don't believe the sky is what?
I said you believe the sky exists.
Yes. No, no. No, you're not about to gaslight me into believing the sky isn't real. Easy there, Kyrie Irving. Calm that down, Kyrie.
All I know
It's a
is
dome. It's
all I
a
know is Neil deGrasse
dome.
Tyson just had like a shiver of his spine. He's like, oh God, what happened?
Yeah, because he heard Tom talking.
Some Negroes
Don't you know?
Negroes being stupid
The
about
sky
science.
doesn't exist. It's a dome. There are no stars. There's just
Everybody
holes.
just went.
He just had he just
Oh my
Neil deGrasse
god.
Ladies
Tyson
and
just
gentlemen,
had a
we have
sensible
fun.
headache.
And I'm on one today. So
Neil deGrasse Tyson
Be
just flipped the
prepared.
table over.
anyway.
That man.
We've been at this for a few minutes already, and I know that we normally start with a question of the day, so I got a question for you. It's going to lead into other questions, so just be prepared to be pelted with questions. But first and foremost, I do want to say, as a gamer, we have seen and we have talked about reviews. If you have ever played a game 9 out of 10 times, you've seen a review somewhere, whether it was in a magazine, a web page, a website, YouTube, anything. You've seen a review, or you've seen a critic score, even in ads as you're scrolling through like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever,
Google.
right? So these reviews can sometimes come across in games that we are excited to play. Now, when you see that a game got 9 out of 10 or game of the year or blah, blah, that game that you were excited to play becomes a lot more appealing for you to buy, right? So have you ever felt like you were enough of a subject matter expert in any particular game, or if you were skilled enough in any particular game that you could do reviews on them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me. All right. So what games would you guys feel comfortable enough to review?
Monster Hunter, Cyberpunk,
Shin Megami Tensei.
Rivals.
Yeah, RPGs,
Mhm.
my side scroller platform, Metroidvania, Mega Man, or like Dead
Final-
Cells, Hollow
yep.
Knight.
Disgaea.
Action games like Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah.
Metroid,
War.
Kirby. Like,
So should you be a expert on a particular game, or should you be an enjoyer of a particular genre?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you like? All right, so for instance, right? He said Metroidvanias. So Metroidvanias is a genre. It's not necessarily one game. It's not. Oh, I play so much Metroid that I just know what a Metroid game should be.
I do though.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just spoke that man's intrusive thoughts.
I'm just saying.
It's out there in the ethos.
So what I'm saying is that. So that means that we should like basically be more or less experts in particular genres. So like somebody would be RPGs, Goji Senpai, yeah, RPGs, sports games, whatever game I can put a lot of time into, I think I can review. For instance, I would not qualify to review a survival game. They're not my flow. They're not my type of game. It's not my style. But if we did reviews and there was a survival game coming out and we got access to a copy at Start Button, the person who I would give that game to would be Hustle. Hustle plays survival games. Those are his love. If it was a first-person shooter, I might consider giving it to Token, because Token never turns off Call of Duty. So, you know,
You gotta do me like that.
his computer is always running Call of Duty.
Is it on right now?
No,
You
Mecha
pause
Break is
it.
on.
You
Hold on, let me
pause
see
for
what
it.
you
You
got.
pause
Hold
Let
for
me
it.
see what he has on. Hold on. Let me see what he has on.
I had to think about it. Wait, what do you mean when you see has up? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, hey, stop being nosy.
I don't think he got anything running at the moment. Nah, he doesn't have anything running at the moment. But
Yeah.
With the
9
quick-
out of 10 times, Token has a game running consistently for a week or two. So, you know, yeah, I would give a first-person shooter to Token.
And this week it's been Mecha Break.
If it's been, see, look, there's a shooter. It's
There you
not
go.
first person, but close enough. I like
Yeah, it is.
third-person shooters. I like RPGs. I would give Raijin anything that is something like a platformer or a Metroidvania, something like that,
Side
because
scroller.
you know,
Oh, my Souls likes need that.
even Souls likes. I'm not a Souls type of guy, so I completely understand. Now, when you look at a game, right, and you say you played a game after you've already seen the review, you decided to pick it up. Say you're playing this game and somebody asks you, well, what would you rate this game? Right? Out of 10, what would you rate this game? Do you have a set criteria that, or like a scale that you use in order to assign numbers?
I mean, I
tend to
guess
do
it would.
numbers.
Yeah, I think it would based off of like one, because of the genre, two, because of like what my criteria would be. Like especially for like games like if I had to, like, say if somebody asked me rate Shin Megami Tensei Persona, like Persona 4. My criteria would be revolving mostly around the illustration for the different personas, how well the story progresses, the fact that you, good God, dungeon structure, because Lord knows you can get stuck in a dungeon on Persona 2. Like it would vary for different things, but
You know what? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Mhm.
I'm just gonna intervene just for a moment, because I don't really think that dungeon structure is something that will cause a game to have a higher or lower score.
Depends on the
Mm-mm.
game.
Depends on the
I'm about to
game.
say, you ready? You ready? I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
Ocarina of Time, Water Temple.
Why is that always a go-to thing if you talk about
Because
dungeons?
Not that
people are
bad.
bots and have been making
Not
that
that
for
bad.
30 years now.
Did you just say it's not that bad?
It's really
Not
not
that
I-
bad.
I influenced
It's
all-
not that bad.
I think that Shadow Temple is objectively more annoying than Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Shadow Temple?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shadow
I think that's way more of annoying.
I
than
can
that.
get through all of the temples without an FAQ except for the Water Temple.
I mean, that.
Sound
I'm
like
saying
you
no about
probably-
that. I'm saying no.
Up, down, left, right. Eventually you lose your way, like completely. It's literally
I
like a
got through
labyrinth.
it.
Huh?
I got through it without game facts.
Same.
I don't know.
MFQ shout out the OGs back in the day, writing up them.
Like I said, everything was either up,
They're still
down, left, or
around.
right.
Surprisingly.
Longevity, fun factor, mechanics, replay value, multiplayer co-op, and the time it takes to get me hooked. Those are
I feel
actually
like that's.
really, really, really good criterias.
I feel like
And
that's a
I
good point.
appreciate that, because that means that you have certain things that you're looking for, and with those things that you're looking for, like I would have loved to bring you in on this one, Goji. Especially because what we're doing today is we're actually going to review Monster Hunter Wilds. There are a bunch of people that really are just getting into their first Monster Hunter game. And as you know, every time that we have a new Monster Hunter game, there's a bunch of people that comes in. From what I've heard, this game has already sold 8 million copies.
Yep.
Woo! Jesus.
I saw that article. Yeah, it's crazy.
Let me just point out the significance of this milestone. Monster Hunter World did a big celebration when they sold 6 million.
How many weeks has it been?
It's been
Since what?
It's been a few days.
It's been 4 days.
Exactly.
Oh, shit,
You sold
yeah,
that
right.
many in under a week.
4
That's
days.
amazing.
Their
That is amazing.
their peak player count consecutively on Steam was over 1 million players already.
Ooh,
It's
boy.
actually like number 5 or 6 in total all-time consistent, not consistent, but concurrent players. And this is a game that has gotten like mixed reviews on Steam.
Let's do the
You see, you go on Steam and you see it at 44%, and it's at mixed reviews, and yet you see 1.1 million players online at the same time, all playing.
Skill issue.
It's not. It's performance problems,
It is definitely performance.
which I feel bad for those people.
Yeah, I feel bad for like PC version got rushed. Apparently, there's like configuration file that might have a typo in there or something like that, and they didn't optimize it for CPUs. But I can see them getting that fixed sooner or later because that's what's holding the game back from getting high reviews right now. It's like the game's great.
I mean, and as far as the reviews go, it's been getting 8s and 9s. I haven't seen anything less than an 8. Goji, if this would be your first since PSP, if you have a console, I'm gonna just say get it on console if you don't want to worry about PC, any of the PC issues, because you'll get a flat, solid either 30 or 60 frames, depending on if you put it in performance mode or if you put it in quality mode. But I would 100% say if you're gonna get it on the console. We are going to go in depth in our review as to why we rated what we rated. And out of the 4 of us here, I know that at least 3 of us have played it. I personally have done somewhere around 27 hours already. Yeah, I think I'm around 27 hours. I'm only HR 15, but I've experienced the story. I've experienced the side world. I've experienced quite a bit of the game, taking my time, not rushing through anything, playing with the various weapons, etc. So the reason that I ask if there are criteria, because I want us today to give our score and reasoning and logic based off of certain criteria. I've already laid them out. I'll explain them later when we start going into the review. I do have another question before we actually get into the meat and potatoes. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we got about an hour and a half that we can talk about Monster Hunter. So, take your time, elaborate, be detailed, and maybe we'll help someone actually either get into the game or tell them why they shouldn't get the game. So the next question that I have is, what do you think makes a person qualified to do a review?
Honestly, like with over the years, as I've seen the quality of reviewer, I would say, go down compared to back in the day. Just be. I think one of the most egregious examples. Does anyone remember that notorious Cuphead review video?
Yeah.
But let's be real. Cuphead is a great game.
No,
it is. It's so fun.
No, what the video I'm talking about is
you talking about the guy that raged?
No, this person was trying to review Cuphead and couldn't even jump over like the regular tree stump in the little mini tutorial, just teaching you the base of the game.
Oh yeah,
that was
it took them like 20 minutes just to get through that little white background. There's nothing attacking you. It's just teaching.
Not even in the full game yet.
Yeah, like you're not even in the game yet. I'm not saying you gotta be like crazy cracked at the game, but just like understand how like the general
follow instructions, damn it,
and how to follow instructions because they're plastered.
Follow instructions.
And they were plastered right on the screen in big ass bold letters. And they're just
token your stalker here. I'm kidding.
It's just like
look at the chat, bro. Your hugest fan is here. They know what it is.
Just gotta be competent and again, like know how buttons work on a controller. And then
so all you need to do is know how buttons work on a controller. What I mean.
No,
I'm just saying, like you gotta know how to play a video game.
Yeah, like just know how to play the game. You don't got to be the best in the world, but at least understand how to follow many little tutorials.
I know where you live.
Jump
Oh.
around, like read
Oh.
instructions during the tutorial.
Damn.
It's like, but that's
I'm
my
a card game player. We don't read, bro.
Wait.
You just lay down the card, hope for the best.
Mhm.
No, they just look at the
Order the
picture.
card.
What they do is
They just look at the picture and be like, you can be in
The heart of
there.
the cards.
Tells you what the card does. You just be
There
like,
you
all
go.
right, commit it to memory. Let me put this in my deck. This is a good card.
Yeah.
We don't read.
Pull out the Millennium Puzzle, just hope for the best.
All I know is
Shadow Zone,
that
you go, brother.
all I know is that if I had 5 pieces of Exodia, somebody would come up and tell me I won. So the goal is to put out all 5 in one turn.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
I'll honestly say another criteria would be articulate. They have to be articulate.
I mean,
You
I'm
can't
gonna
just
be
be
honest
posting
with you.
bro. You
like,
can't just
while
be
you're
posting
articulate and
anything
everything.
in Kanye's internet. All right.
I know you
I
said
said what I
Kanye's
said.
internet after just saying let's not.
You gonna
talk
say
about
Beyonce's
Kanye.
internet.
What?
You gonna say Beyonce's internet, not Kanye's.
Why can't it be Kanye's, bro? It's inflated
Kanye's
as
a
hell.
whole.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. You get me?
He's a whole
All these
brown
egos?
shirt.
All these egos? Wait. Oh no, sir.
Did you not see the?
I forgot.
He said it.
I'm just gonna refer back to the chat one more time because Token needs to put a better light on layaway.
Token
Oh.
blending in with his
Fucking
shirt,
blending
looking
in
like
with
a
shirt,
big
looking
dark
like a big
chocolate bar.
Wow.
Damn!
Bruh,
I thought I was
Is
cooking
that
you today,
real?
but
I
apparently
have
the
my
chat is
lights
cooking you too.
down.
Is that
I have
real?
my lights down, bro.
Apparently the chat is cooking you too.
Oh my
You
goodness.
said you blended with your shit.
Kung Fu Kenny's internet. That's what I'm talking about.
There we go.
Okay.
That's
All
what I'm
right.
talking
Alright,
about.
that's
for
better.
real.
All right.
That's
That's
better.
better.
That's better.
Today
Kung
on
Fu
Kung
Kenny's
Fu
internet.
Kenny's internet. Better not be blaspheming.
Kanye's internet. You must-
All right, so
Goddamn.
so the criteria that we have is be capable, be able to articulate.
Honestly, there's not much else. You have to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a hater.
Like you don't need skill.
Because you,
Like, you literally
I think
don't need
personally, one of the things that you have to be able to do is you have to be able to be objective.
Mm.
You have to be able to be objective. You have to
Yeah.
be able to
You can't be
not only
biased.
formulate an opinion of your own, but also to look at it from the broader perspective or to look at it from the other side, etc. You know what I'm saying? So that a person can understand what the intent is, not just of your review, but of what you're trying to convey about the game. If a game is good, right? But they have some issues. You can't give me a review that highlights all the bad issues about the game for the entire review, but then tell me it's a 7.
Or sometimes you get reviews where they literally say like there are no cons to this game. 8.5. It's like what? It's like
What? Yeah, like
5 out
you
of
just
10.
you just contradicted yourself with this.
That's why I don't like doing a number scale when it comes to games now.
How
So
about
what do you
grading,
buy?
how
What
about
do you
grading
do?
it by letter? Graded by letter.
Letter's good too.
I
now
mean,
I
to
think
me, that's a tier list at that point.
for me, I've
Well,
I've
yeah.
I've got mine down. It's like pass, rental, Steam sale, full price, or day one buy.
Okay.
Like a day one buy is like a perfect.
So-
You need to play this
so-
right now.
Let me ask you a question. That's a
Mhm.
scale of 5 things, right?
Mhm.
So pass would be a 1, right?
Pass would be a 0.
Day
Pass
one
would be a
buy
0.
5, right?
Pass is like don't play it at all.
And a day one buy would be a 5, right?
Bro said,
Yeah.
pass is get your hands off me, brokey.
So kind of the same.
But it's like, but
And
but
then
I
a 4.5 would literally be a 9.
That'd be an 8.
Yeah,
I said a
but it's easier to
4.5.
break it down. But
please, like,
Please
please do that
4.5
math.
times 2 is 9, bro.
Please do the math again. Just please do the math again for me. Please.
I said 8.
But here's the thing: when you write it out like past rental, Steve sale, full price, day one buy, people kind of get a better example of like where this game stands. As
Yeah,
opposed
what,
to, like,
True.
what he's getting at is like he's not necessarily saying the game is bad. It's like
People
like
shy away from numbers. Like anything that gets a 6 or less, people won't buy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
But
also,
why?
it's like,
That's
the
my
thing
thing.
is,
Why?
like, we've all had games that we bought at full price. We were like, kind of wish I didn't drop 60 bones on that.
yeah,
Kind of wish I liked the game, but did I like it enough for me $60 and now $70 worth? Not really. Would I have been cool if I got it for 30? That's
So at
what I
that
would've
point,
paid for it.
so at that point, you'd rather to be able to rent like or like free
No.
pass, you know, like
No,
trial,
no.
trial it.
What Eric's saying is that there are some games that you want to own, but you would never pay full price for it. A rental game is a game that you don't even want to keep in the library. You just want to play it,
Mm.
pass it on. That's it.
Like the
Okay,
PS3.
all right.
Play it or play it on
You
Game
play
Pass.
it, you beat it in 3 hours, and it's like that's it.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite games on PS3, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Love that game. When I borrowed it from Hustle, I didn't realize I was gonna beat that game in 3.5 hours. And I was like, oh, this game came out for $60 goddamn. I would have been
a
livid.
little hot.
Yeah,
I'd have been a
like
little hot.
I love that game. Like the action's great, soundtrack's fantastic, stories over the top, crazy. Love it. $60 though, nah, like that would have been if I knew in advance how short it was, would have been a rental or something like that. Or like
Yeah.
back in the or when that was when GameFly was still big. Like GameFly.
Even Blockbuster had the unlimited rentals where you could go, you could rent something, you could come back the same day, rent something else. You know what I'm saying? As long as you brought your stuff back.
Yeah, can you imagine if you got like went to Blockbuster like technically had the day off, 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, let me rent this. You come back at 2, the guy's like, oh, what's up? I'm like, I already beat it. Like, what's next?
There's people who have done that.
I mean, there are people who use GameStop like that.
There's games that have yeah.
Yep.
Trust me, as a former employee and the way that they had their pre-owned games set up, like there are people who would come in, they would buy a game, and because if you return it within 7 days, you get your full credit back, right? So that means that they just pay $55. They come in, they buy said game, play it. If they beat it, they bring it back within that 7 days, and they just get that $55 back. They transfer that $55 to another game.
Yeah.
That's a perpetual cycle of like.
I really like to call them serial renters.
That sounds like what Call of Duty Battle Pass basically is. You buy one Battle Pass, you play it fully through, and it pays for the next one, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and we had people who would literally be there every single week. Every week, without fail, without hesitation, they were returning whatever they bought last week. I mean, honestly, I think it was a failed system. Your company's not making money like that. Your company
Right.
made $55, and somebody is just getting a sample off the plate.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I'm saying? And since it's store credit, they can't spend it anywhere else.
Bro said I put a ring on it and I can eat dinner whenever I want.
What up, Shmoney? Oh, you used to do that with GameStop too? Yeah, that's what I said. I think it's a failed system. I was an employee, and as an employee, I'm like, how does the company make money like this? Oh,
That's
wait.
the fun part. They don't.
What ended up happening was GameStop stock went down like this.
Mm-hmm.
And how they're still surviving, I don't know. Because at this point, even when their stock bubble inflated all over again and their stuff went crazy, they just, mismanaged funds. And what's keeping them alive right now? I think right now what's keeping them alive is the fact that they grade Pokemon cards. But it's gotten so bad that they're even hosting tournaments in stores.
In them small stores.
Yeah.
They got the foot.
Yes. You see your face? You see
They
your
got
face?
the footprint for it.
Exactly.
How does that work?
They started off by taking in iPhones and iPads and iDevices. Then they started carrying PC parts. Then they started carrying merchandise and statues and Think Geek. They bought Think Geek. After they started carrying merchandise and statues, Now, when you go into GameStop and you go to look for games, you actually have to find the wall that has games on it.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Have you
Why
not
would
been to a GameStop recently?
They
The
just-
middle of the store is all clothes and statues and merchandise and computer parts and everything else.
So it's
The
basically
video
a
games are in small sections along the wall.
so it's basically a hodgepodge of Hobby Lobby, Hot Topic, and a card store.
Effectively.
GameStop is now box lunch.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I wouldn't go that far. That's an insult to box lunch.
It is. It is. But what I'm saying is that if you walk into box lunch, what do you expect to see?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I almost said, "Hey, it's a Books a Million, but smaller."
Fan merchandise, Disney, Marvel.
Right. You
Harry
but you expect
Potter.
to see character related merchandise. You expect to see
Mhm.
collectible items. You expect to see
Clothes.
things like that when you go into box lunch. That's what you see when you walk into GameStop.
That is
And then
ridiculous.
eventually you'll see controllers, or you'll see, like you might see a couple of games on the wall somewhere, or they have like some kind of little game display. I don't even at this point in 2025, I don't even know if they still have the consoles that you can play on.
Nope. They're all gone.
Dang.
At
They
least
keep
the
them in
one,
the
yeah,
back.
like they just
They keep
closed
them in the
one of them because there's two near us. They just closed the one in the mall, which that was like the flagship one for a while, and they
Yeah.
just closed that one like a month and a half ago. Another one
Wow.
too much further away. They moved all the stock from the mall one to that one, but I don't know how much longer that one's got. My
But
brother
the
used to
fact
work
that you
at that one.
can the fact that you can move all your stock from one store to another is crazy. I know what those back rooms look like.
They tiny. I work the
They're-
one,
yes.
the mall one that closed.
No
That's when I used to
merch.
work at. It was tiny back there.
So the fact that you can actually fit an entire store in another store is wild.
It ain't like that store was already a kneecap to an elbow length in width. New stores are already
Yeah.
small.
You really are from the South.
What? What is
Who
that
says
supposed to
that?
mean?
Anyway,
I can't believe you, bro.
I'm just saying it ain't like the store is more than a kneecap to an what? What? Huh?
Bobby in the
Is
barnyard.
that are we doing Tybo? Like, is that a unit of measurement? Like, what?
Billy, is that you?
What is that, bro?
I hate you so much.
Gambit makes more sense than we do.
Anyway.
Oh my god. I can't. Why you couldn't?
Yeah,
I
from the
struggle with that.
South with an F, a hard F.
I was about to say
S-O-U-F.
SOUF.
South. He from the South.
Bruh.
Hey, Token, what's a pineapple?
Hey, shut up. Hey, shut up. Cameron, shut up.
So I ended up looking up tournaments at GameStop, and why
Oh
did
my
I find a Beyblade tournament at GameStop,
Bro,
Beyblade is still big for some reason. It's
yes,
crazy.
Beyblade is still big. And
Yeah.
Beyblade is actually still big on TikTok.
I heard Chief Keef wanted to hold a tournament or something like that.
If
Chief
Start
Keef
Button holds the
wanted to hold a
tournament, just
Beyblade
let me
tournament?
know so
That's
I
what I
can go
heard.
out and try to build me a blade that's gonna wreck everybody. But
Hey, I ain't gonna stunt. If Chief keeps holding the Beyblade
Yeah,
tournament, I won't in.
I work for an industrial supplier. I can build the craziest Beyblade ever if I wanted to.
That's definitely not tournament legal at
Nope.
all.
everybody's
thing is
gonna say
not
Chief Keef
legal.
can't do this and Chief Keef can't do that.
I mean, you can do everything.
I'm not finna. Shut up, bro. Ah. The next mother. Let's see.
And apparently,
If you
Bey-
ever see black people in a group, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not even gonna.
Oh,
wow, wow.
Anytime that somebody starts a statement like that, you know that it's not the direction that you really wanted to go in.
Token, what's a
Yeah.
pine knuckle?
bruh, come on. Just go past this.
No, what is it? I'm just asking because chat was asking, like, what's a pine knuckle, bro?
Oh, man. Look, me and Cameron.
I know what a
Sunday,
moose knuckle is.
Why you couldn't keep that in your head, dog? Why you
And
letting your
intrusive
intrusive
thoughts
thoughts?
always win.
Why
This
you
is
letting your
intrusive thoughts. The
intrusive thoughts
show. What are you
win?
talking about?
Yeah, dead ass.
Hey, Token, you
What's
gotta
it-
go, bro.
What's a
Oh my
pineapple?
god!
Take a break.
What?
Take a break.
Oh, okay.
So,
Hold on.
since we know what makes a person qualified for reviews, I think that actually makes all of us in our own eyes qualified for reviews. So today what we're gonna do, Hustle, have you played Monster Hunter Wilds at all?
Yes, I have. I have at least like 23 hours in it,
How many?
and I have like 23 hours in it.
20. Okay. What about you, Rajan?
Got like about 16. I'm at HR 13, 14. I just did whatever put me at. I don't remember.
I'm at.
I mean, at 16 hours, you are about at the progress that I'm at like 27. So
yeah,
I think I
all around
hit
the
HR
same.
15 last
Yeah,
night.
we're all around the same spot.
Yeah. So, you know, and like I said, I was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? But like for sure. All right. So this is gonna be our first take. And of course, we're gonna try to keep our reviews spoiler free because we know that there are quite a few people who don't get the game on day one or who, you know, may have wanted to wait and kind of figure out what real people thought of the game. So in case you're not familiar with the gaming industry and what's been going on, obviously Monster Hunter Wilds came out on Friday. And so over the past few days, it's been going crazy. We've mentioned it a few times. And so I just want to make sure that anybody who is either a first-time Monster Hunter player, somebody who's never really been interested but thought about it this time because of how hot it is, or someone who was just looking for something new to play, whether you're a beginner, whether you're a veteran, if you want to know whether it's better than another previous game or if you could compare it to another game that you enjoy, this is going to be the place to go in order to kind of find that out from real people. So we don't get paid for reviews, obviously. We don't get paid to be here. We're here because we enjoy you and we enjoy doing this. So that way you guys and understand that our opinions and our biases are not towards getting anything monetary from this. We're literally doing it for the joy of us. And obviously, if we're lovers of Monster Hunter, if we had a bias towards Monster Hunter, then that means that if the game were bad, then we would be highly upset because the game were bad. So if you stay tuned for just a few moments more, you'll definitely find out all of our opinions in depth and in detail. Let's see. I'm gonna get Wilds, if not Friday, the next weekend. I 100% understand. So go right on ahead. And again, stay tuned in so that you know exactly how we feel about it and where you should probably get it at, because the answer might shock you. You know, whether you play on PC or whether you play on console, you know, we'll definitely give you advice on which one you should get it on if you have the option for both. I'll also try to let you know exactly what you should expect on either or. Now, Monster Hunter Wilds was released to the public. There's a whole bunch of buzz over the past few days. Like I said, we have definitely been playing. We've been putting in some time. I've been having fun. Fun is subjective, so I kind of want to hear you guys' reviews. But before we get into the reviews, I want to provide a little bit of a sample criteria. I've actually laid out kind of a little bit of a rubric because this is what I do for my day job. So I actually work in quality assurance and quality control. So when we judge things or when we score phone calls and things of that nature, we actually utilize a rubric on did such and such do this, and this. And that's it takes out opinions for the most part. But you know, at least this will give us an opportunity to kind of maximize the efficiency of our reviews. So the criteria that I have laid forth are this. So we got 2 points for the story. Okay. If we're on a scale of 10, so the story and quality, content, whatever, 2 points. Controls and combat, 2 points. All right. Performance and optimization on whatever platform, 2 points. The gameplay loop, replayability, 2 points. And fun factor, difficulty, 2 points. So if everything is 2 points, that means if something is lacking where it gets a 1, or if something, just isn't there where it gets a 0 in that particular category, that could definitely bring a game that's a 10 down to an 8, etc. So I think that this is decent criteria. It's general enough. You don't have to stick to it when you give your review numbers, but this is my overall criteria that I used while thinking up my own review. So let's see. Hustle. I know that you have been playing Monster Hunter since PS2, the very first Monster Hunter that's come out, which means it's been probably 25 years ish, 20, somewhere around there.
About 20, yeah.
About 20 years.
20 years. Okay, 20 years. So
Yeah.
you've been playing Monster Hunter almost 20 years. Based upon whatever your criteria is. So I know you don't like to do numbers. What would you rate Monster Hunter Wilds and why?
I would rate it day one by, if you're getting it on console, I would still say full price if you're on PC, but wait a little bit. So like patches come out that fix certain issues. From what I've been reading, I haven't played it on PC, so I can't talk on my experience on how it is for a PC player. I'm playing currently on PS5, and it runs great on it. There are some frame dips when things get very intense in certain areas. Like there's like a bunch of enemies on screen happening at the same time, and you got the weather effects that are happening. There's a lot that's happening in this game compared to the older games, right?
All
You
right,
got herds, entire herds of giant animals walking across fields while these intense thunderstorms are happening at the same time that are blowing sand all over the place.
come on.
And somehow the game is still able to function properly through that. Like I'd say in those situations it drops down to like maybe like 40 frames per second. I'm playing on performance, so I'd like to keep mine somewhere near a constant 60, but like
So performance
areas
mode
like-
is supposed to keep it at 60 frames.
yeah, or at least as close to 60 as possible.
But the
'Cause like I
lowest
said-
you've seen is like 40-ish.
Around the 40ish. Yeah, like I noticed the frame dips in certain situations, but it's not enough to deter from the game because you realize what's going on. Like I said, there's big giant herds of animals while you have intense weather conditions happening, and that happen like each of the 4 areas they have these different weather conditions. The four the areas which you can actually seamlessly travel between all of them on your sacred, right? All of them have their own sort of like weather conditions. Like let's say one has like storms, right?
Spoiler free.
I don't think I'm spoiling anything
I just,
by saying at least what like comparison. to what-
no. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, and like one,
spoiler free as
yeah,
possible.
like one area will have like big, like torrential downpour, like heavy rain happening, like almost like a rainforest, right? Another place will have like sandstorms, and there's all that happening with like all these animals running around. You got little tiny endemic life like bugs and little lizards and birds flying around the place. The world feels more alive than it's ever felt before. Like they started that off in World where you can see like little lizards walking around, crawling up trees and stuff like that. But like with Monster Hunter, if you slow down in Wilds, if you slow down and like let's say you look at a tree in like a forest or whatever, you can actually see like a colony of ants traveling down that tree through the forest floors and stuff. And you can capture them too. Oh.
Mhm.
Let's see what else. For me, I'd say this is
Day one buy.
Day one buy. Like if you're a Monster Hunter fan, definitely you're already gonna get it.
Now
you're
remind
new
us
to
of
the
your
series-
scale again. So day one buy is the highest.
Day one buy is the highest. Full price is just under that, which means that you don't have to rush out and get it, but you could. It's still worth getting it at the full price.
Okay.
Like, then down below that is Steam sale, which means you just get that when it's on sale, like a 15, 20% off, 30% off, 50% off, if possible. Then next is like rental, or I guess you would say Game Pass now if it's on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
So Game Pass or rental, and then down below that is just don't even bother playing it. 'Cause there are some games that I
just don't even bother.
yeah, like Redfall is a pass. Don't play it. It's free on Game Pass, but I would not even then don't play it. It's just not good. That's not a good game. But this is a day one buy specifically if you're on console. You can still get it on PC. I hear there's issues on PC.
It's a buyer's beware for PC.
It's a
but-
buyer's
I'll,
beware
I'll
for
speak
PC
more to
at
PC.
the moment.
I actually have personal experience there.
Yeah.
All right. Raijin?
So I'm in the agreement on that. Probably day one buy. If I was to give it a numerical score, I like numbers, like because you can kind of get more of a like. But I kind of prefer doing like not up to a 10, up to a 5. I would say right now, I would say it's a 4.5 out of 5. There's only some small things like quality of life design choices, which kind of annoy me. Like in terms of interface and like the UE and stuff like that, or like when certain things pop up that annoy me, but it doesn't detract enough for me in the game to drop it a whole point. But overall, like just the presentation of the game, visually, I think it looks great. I'm also playing on PS5, playing performance mode. And yeah, same thing. You only get crazy dips when like you maybe have a monster turf war while weather effects are happening, while a herd of monsters happening, while your feline might be doing something, or you have a full party of people or something like that. But typically it stays usually near 60, like 100%, like most of the time. I would say like 95% of the time it's at 60 frames. Like there's very little frame rate dips. I haven't tried playing on quality mode because out of curiosity yet. I might do that just out of curiosity, just to see how it looks, how it plays. But I'm liking how it's looking. But I'm definitely enjoying the changes. Like how I'm not gonna like go deep in the story. I like how this game has like an actual story now. Like the camp, like a lot. I've been seeing people on the subreddits and Twitter, blah blah. Like not like their opinions matter that much. They're like the story's stupid, blah blah blah. I just want to skip it. Like you can go ahead, but like I'm kind of enjoying the world building and banter between the characters and everything like that. It's something different. Like, but if you want to skip it, you can skip it. But like some parts can be a little annoying, like the on rails moments where you're kind of forced to go at a certain speed. But I'm still having fun. But
You know what I do during those on rails moments?
what? Gather stuff?
I just start spinning the camera and just start aiming at stuff and
Yep.
gathering from. I just
Yep.
you know,
What's
just-
that saw? What's that saw you can turn like actually like enable like the grappler? I was like, oh, look at that.
Spidey senses
Look
just
at that.
web slinging parts over to myself.
Exactly.
Like,
But
oh,
yeah,
I
no.
need those. Let me get that. I don't care what they saying while I'm riding on the back of the Sacred while they talking and I'm on rails and I can't control anything.
I
Spidey.
like that.
ah,
I like that your hunter talks. And actually,
First,
Yeah.
first Monster Hunter where your
Wait,
hunter
your
has a
hunter
voice.
talk?
Yeah. You
First Monster Hunter
definitely
where
gotta
your
skip
hunter
the
has a
voice
voice.
protagonist.
That's
Fully
pretty
voice
cool.
acted.
That's pretty cool.
Your Palico, your cat, also
Mhm.
speaks English.
they
What?
all do now.
You can't
All the
talk-
Palicos.
And of course,
Oh, that's dope.
and of course, I named my cat after my cat. So it's like I had to.
Hopper
But
sitting
but
there like,
but I'm well. But I made, like I said, I made my feline's fur pattern a combination of both my cats a little bit, so they're both there. But yeah, now this is definitely obviously a must buy for Monster Hunter fans. And honestly, I think if you've been wanting to get into Monster Hunter, I kind of in agreement with some people that said like I'm not sure if this would be the best to jump into because it does kind of assume you know a little bit about Monster Hunter already. That's what I took from how the main story went so far. I think World would still be a good entry point and then maybe try on this. But the only downside of that is not everyone's gonna be on World, everyone's gonna be on Wilds. So it's like so at that point, if you got a bunch of people playing it, the tutorial is pretty good for Wilds, but it's not the best to just jump into if you've never played a Monster Hunter game in your life. I think that would be the kind of the main like push away for like brand new players of the series.
I would like
But-
to add on too to what you're saying too. That combat wise, I think this is the best Monster Hunter that we've gotten. And I think like if you were to go back to play Worlds versus Wilds, the gameplay and combat in Worlds is a lot more stiff than it is in Wilds. Like I feel like there's a lot more freedom in the combat now in terms of like not sticking to a strict only one gameplay style loop.
Everything's
each
more
of the
mobile.
weapons.
Everything's more. Even the hammer is more mobile now, which is like,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I was like, so I do like all those options, but as far the only reason I was saying maybe go into World is just like, hey, this is effectively the best first one to play now out of like between like Worlds, Rise, and Wilds, but I still think people will be fine just jumping into Wilds.
Yeah, I would recommend Wilds for someone who wanted to try it. Who wanted to try a Monster Hunter game. It's a lot more accessible. Which accessibility is a good thing, people. It's not a bad thing. I know people hear that word accessibility and they lose their minds.
Accessibility sounds like translation for DEI, and I'm joking.
No DEI.
That's how
control
people
nobody.
be,
Yeah.
That's how people be, though.
We can't just even enjoy games anymore without it.
We're boycotting
evolving
Target.
into that. It's like, oh my god.
What I just say about us being controversial, Token? Come on,
You're
bro.
right. You're
We're
right.
not controversial. We're just talking about controversial.
Just Token
Oh yeah.
being
Yeah.
the token black guy. Once more.
Still don't know what a
Boy,
pineapple.
let me
Still don't know
tell
what a
you.
pineapple is.
Bruh, why have you not forgotten?
Because
Because we reminded.
yeah, we do keep getting reminded in chat. Cameron did
Are you
this
serious?
Cameron did
I'm
this
talking
ask
about the
him about
pineapple.
Yeah, what about that?
All right. Sunday we had to go clean his uncle's yards and whatnot. And he has a house. He has a house on by a river, and bunch of trees. We were basically cleaning up cypress needles, and then you know how cypress trees when they're like they got these little stubbles. They're called cypress knees.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, what?
Cypress knees or whatever the fuck cypress stumps. I don't know, but my brain had just heard it and then I forgot it and I looked at it and I called it a pine knuckle because I kept thinking of pine trees because we were looking at cypress needles and I kept thinking pine trees, pine needles, pine knuckles, and then pine knuckles stuck and then he won't leave me alone.
See,
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be something next.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be something way more ridiculous. Like all this build up for nothing. And you just kept hiding like it was something crazy.
Womp womp.
Because if you're Southern and or country and you know what the something is and you call it something else and it's that something else that you called it is not even in existence and you just made it up, it sounds retarded. My bad. I take that back. I didn't mean to say the R word. I know that's controversial. in 2025.
As we just talked about controversy, he's right out in the open is cancel.
Tone, what is your review of Monster Hunter Wilds?
Tone's over there. Tone's over there thinking like, this is what the pine knuckle thing is
We
about.
ain't even got a legal team yet. That's crazy. We don't even got a PR team.
Tones is the PR team.
Nah, Babe's a PR team. Gotta be like, he did not mean any of those comments.
Wait,
Ladies and
wait,
gentlemen, the views of
who's
SG
HR?
Token do not reflect the views of Start Button or the entire cast. His views are his own. His words are his own.
Yep,
And if we
My-
must
yep.
issue out a punishment, you'll know. Anyway,
What you gonna do? Cancel my layaways?
Yes.
that would hurt you too much. You might have something on layaway or something. I don't know.
We calling a pawn shop and being like, hey yo, cancel all his layaways right now. Throw them all out in the trash.
more severe.
Hey, you do that. You ain't hurting me. You pissing her off, and you got to deal with that.
Hey, you don't want to start that.
All right. So I'm gonna go into a couple of different details. Based upon the criteria that I laid forth earlier, I'm gonna kind of give my review based on that. So I'll go over each different category and what I scored the game at in that particular category. So obviously, if I assign 2 points to each category, that means the maximum amount of points that the game can get is 10. So my review is basically an out of 10. So I'm going to say that as far as the story goes, because I've experienced the majority of the story, so as far as the story goes, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 2. The story moves. The lore building is pretty good. There are times in the story where somebody will say something and there's a long silence. There's a silence that hangs just a little bit too long. And, you know, sometimes that can be a little bit jarring when you're waiting for the next line to come. Voice acting is good. Sometimes it's a little bit overly dramatic, or sometimes, you know, characters that I'm supposed to like, I don't like. Actually, that's actually a common thing. So
Who don't you like? Without spoilers.
Would that be a spoiler?
I don't like that dickhead of a kid.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah. He
I
is.
guess
He
not.
comes around.
Yeah. I like Alma's voice. She's
He grows on
way
you,
less
huh?
annoying than what's her face in World.
Oh, the handler,
The handler was
Chef's
so
kiss.
annoying. Dude.
fire. I do not mind the handler at all. And not only does she sound better, less annoying, looked better than the previous handler, she doesn't call me part.
Partner.
She can
Sure
also
thing,
pick up
partner.
stuff and give it to you.
Let's go, partner.
Cool.
Let's go.
She can pick up stuff and give it to you.
Yeah.
Let's
And
start
she's
this one,
actually
partner.
out in the and she's actually out in the field with you.
Partner,
But you
I'm-
notice that she's literally with
Partner,
you
I'm
while you're
kinda-
fighting.
I'm kind of noticing you don't really talk back anymore, partner. What's going on, partner?
And then when you defeat a monster in World, she's like, "We did it, part.
What you do?
Who is we? I did everything."
Yeah, that's right. I killed that monster. Okay, sure you did.
Like, what? Like, I'm sorry, I did. Me and the cat did that. Me and the cat did all the work. You didn't do nothing.
Hey, partner, nice follow up. You ain't even start.
You joke, but it's like that though.
Oh,
Like,
literally.
that's how the lines are like.
She takes mad credit for all the shit you did. Like, what?
like she's leaning back, like, oh man, sure happy we killed that elder dragon though. Oh man, tired.
Like, so glad you helped me out. Bitch, helped you out.
When were you a
Helped
part
you
of this?
out? It's like that that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We
We
talking about we did it.
We did it.
Oh,
we did
yeah.
it.
And literally, that's a line. We did it, partner.
start singing the "We Did It" song for Dora the Explorer. Like,
That's what I was just doing. We did it. We did it.
Whereas Alma is legitimately with you every step of the way. She is out there.
She's literally like, you turn around
he's in the
on
trenches.
the
with you.
battlefield
Yo,
when you fight a
straight up.
monster. You look like this, and you see Alma sitting there on her sacred.
Yeah.
Right there on the battlefield.
And she's not useless either, because she actually does she'll like pick up materials along the way and give them to you. Like, what?
Yep. She'll call out when you got to resupply.
Yep.
And then, so I will say this. There are moments in the story that I did enjoy. For instance, and this is just like a random thought, and it's a random line from throughout the story. But when Alma looks at me and she says, "By the order of the guild, I authorize you to hunt this monster," I'm like, yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Doom soundtrack just kicks on. Like, that's what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
that's what I'm saying. It's like something in my brain just goes full crank, and I'm just like, all right, we lit. Like,
Bro,
She
bro be
out
like,
here
bro,
making
look at the
decisions
camera.
on the fly, and all she gotta say is by order of the guild. I turn into
Bro,
John Cena.
Action time.
Bro say he breaks the fourth wall and be like, maximum effort,
No,
Minimum
really.
results.
minimum results.
Maximum effort, minimum results.
Minimum
As
results.
a longsword main, Virgil's theme starts playing in my head the moment she says that.
Okay. So, getting into that. All right. So I gave the story 1 out of 2
Nice
because
segue.
there are things in the story that could be improved. But again, what do you expect from a Monster Hunter story? You expect something relatively mid. So it's middle of the road. It's not the most fantastic writing, the most fantastic, captivating story I've ever played. It's not the worst by
There's some
far.
crazy twist though.
Sure.
I'm like, whoa.
But I mean, I felt like I could see it the whole time.
Could you though? Could you though? Did you really? Did you really?
Did you really?
I mean, I played the story in Wilds and World. Or not Wilds. Wilds, World, and Rise.
So you felt that it was predictable?
Predictable? I like I said, I felt like I could see it very often. Like I could see something coming or something happening. You get to a place and like you're talking to somebody and it's like, oh no, here's a monster. Like I knew it was coming.
So basically you're saying like it's the plot is written in a way to where it's expected within parameters.
But I mean, you kind of need to expect it.
I mean,
Because
yeah,
you want to get to that,
true.
you want to get to the meat and potatoes of the game. You know what I'm saying? It gives you purpose to keep playing. So
this isn't a Final Fantasy we talking about.
yeah, like expecting the plot to go where the plot goes is not a bad thing. It's not a negative at all.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like when I seen certain things, I was just like, oh, I didn't even know that was in. Well, obviously it's in the game, but this is different.
Mhm.
Interesting. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's one of those things where the story, while not being completely predictable, like I can't tell you the story from the beginning to the end. Like, oh, this is how it worked. I knew this is how it was going to be. While I can't tell you the story from the beginning to the end, just the progression of things. The pacing sometimes is a little slow for some people. I've heard people complain that they was ready to get into the hunting and they had to sit through too much cutscene. So then this isn't just this isn't just my personal, but like just other things that I've been hearing. So like I said, the story it's kind of in the middle of the road. I'm not disappointed by it at all. I'm not wowed by it at all. 1 out of 2. Combat and the controls. As far as the controls go, Monster Hunter is already a complex game. It can be a little clunky to kind of figure out what you need to press and when. Adding the focus mode, while it adds a layer of complexity to your controls, it also makes it a lot easier to keep eyes on the monster. Now, most of the time, if you're on a controller, you have to keep that trigger, the left trigger, held down, or L2 button, depending upon what kind of controller you're using. Holding that trigger down while you're constantly doing stuff on the other side, with triangle and circle or Y and B and R2 or right trigger and pressing the right button. All of that can be a little confusing for somebody who's just approaching the game in the beginning, right? But if you're a veteran, adding the element of an L2 or a left trigger, it's kind of nothing. You're already used to the controls, so that's great. You know what I'm saying? You can also toggle the focus mode. So instead of you holding down the left trigger, you can just press it. It stays there. I don't like toggle. I like to hold the button because when I want to let it go and get out of the focus mode, so I can kind of freeform do what I want to do. I like the responsiveness of on and off instead of me just press it and then have to remember, oh, I can't put my weapon away with the R1 or right button because I'd still sitting here in focus mode, and that means that I'm trying to attack something that's probably not there because the monster ran away.
I didn't know you could toggle focus mode.
It's in the menu.
Huh.
You can also turn off your sacred from auto exploring in the menu. You can also zoom out a little bit from your character so that you can see more of your field in the menu. There's a lot of options that you can kind of change around just for quality of life and to make your experience better. So as far as controls, I like that it's kind of intuitive enough where if you've played long enough, or if you play long enough, if you're a new player, yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult at first, but the game kind of gets you adjusted. Like combat isn't, I need to press everything you're not playing a fighting game. You don't have to button mash. It's triangle and circle, or Y and B. It's R2 and L2. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might throw a little bit of R1 in there just to hit some wounds, but for the most part, it's triangle, circle, R2, or Y, B, right trigger, and that kind of simplifies things a lot. But it's also complex enough where you actually are satisfied with what you're doing, and you start learning the actual combos in the training area. If you start learning how the weapon works in the training area, if you go to the cat that's in the training area, or the palico that's in the training area, you can set the training dummy to do different things. You can set it to smash down if you want to practice your timing for offset attacks, which is a new thing. Offset attacks, when a monster is coming down for a hit or a monster is coming in for a hit, there are certain weapons where if you do an upswing, it's a clash and it'll knock the monster back and make them fall.
So it's a parry.
Kind of, yes.
Kind of.
It's a topple, or yeah, it's a parry, but it also knocks them over. So instead of being a parry, it literally topples the monster, especially because usually it's a larger hit that you're literally bam, like you time it right. There are also shield clash attacks. So for shielded weapons, or weapons like the great sword, the gun lance, the lance, if you block at the right moment when the monster is swinging, you can block and it'll set off almost like a cutscene animation. And then if you tap the Y button or triangle button, you actually have like a pushback moment, and then you can, topple the monster that way. So I enjoy that, on top of the fact that the weapons are much, much, much more fluid now.
That's what I'm saying.
The weapons feel so much better. There are quite a few people that I know who are just playing their first Monster Hunter, or didn't really get a lot of time into World, and this game is easier to approach because it's easier to play. With the game being easier to play, in the beginning of the game, the weapons are so good that I had trouble picking one. Normally, if I have trouble picking one, it's because nothing tickles my fancy enough, nothing grabs my attention, nothing strikes me enough where it's like automatic, oh, I'm going to use this. I'll go through all the weapons, and then 9 out of 10 times, I'll just pick the sword and shield, because the sword and shield is a basic all-around weapon. It's relatively easy to use, where I don't have to stress too much. I can launch myself in the air. I can combo. It's not super strong, but it's very fast when it strikes. So this time I did not pick the sword and shield, and my weapons of choice that I really had trouble choosing between were longsword for the first time ever.
Oh,
I am not a longsword main. I usually stay away from longsword completely because I don't want to be the master of the weebs. Sorry, but just let you know. So longsword, dual blades, and normally I don't do dual blades either. Like I did dual blades in the beginning of World, but it was just because all right, well, I'm just trying stuff now. Sword and shield, bow, switch axe, and gun lance. Gunlance is kind of a surprise to me because it was a weapon that I never liked the feel of and did not like it until Rise Sunbreak when it got wire bug skills that actually made it fun to play. I could rocket dash all around the stage and do all kinds of fun, weird stuff. The Gunlance became fun for me. But this time around, Gunlance has crazy additional combos that allow me to do proper damage without feeling like I'm lacking in DPS while still having the defense. So when it comes down to combat and controls, I enjoy it a lot. I'm gonna give it 2 points. 2 points.
All right.
So right now the game is at 3. Performance optimization. Currently I am on a PC that is running a Ryzen 9 5900X. I have a RTX 3080 graphics card. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. With those specs being provided, my average frame rate is somewhere between 47 and 65 frames per second. On PC.
That's a
on high
wow.
settings.
47 to 68.
What's the
47 to 65 on high settings. But you also have to remember that I have a graphics card that does not have frame generation.
Oh, okay.
47 is like peak lowest when there's a lot of people in the home base, because when you're online, everybody's kind of around you in your home base camp, and that can take down my graphics, my FPS a little bit. Mind you, I'm also running ray tracing off, and everything else is on high settings. So I'm using probably about 6 gigs of VRAM, maybe 6.5 gigs of VRAM, and the game performs well. But not everybody has that same experience. I had a friend who has a 2080 or a 2080 Ti or something like that, and he was complaining that he was only getting 30 frames.
But yeah, because the recommended is 2060.
He was complaining that he was only getting 30 frames, even though the recommended is a 2060. It says that you should get 60 frames with frame generation, and you can't get frame generation unless you have a 40 series graphics card, which means that you're getting 30 frames.
Which is weird.
He had a solid 30, but a lot of people are complaining that the game is not optimized because so many different rigs. And like, if you paid a couple of $1,000 for your rig that many years ago, it doesn't even have to be a whole bunch of years ago. But if you paid a couple $1,000 for your rig and you can play everything else on high with no problem, or on close to the most settings with no problem, even coming from Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter Rise, and you had no issues, and now all of a sudden this game comes out and your PC can barely get 30 frames, you were getting 90 to 120 frames in the last game.
That does sound like an optimization issue within the game, because that's the only common denominator.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
So this is the PC experience right now. There are some PCs that can't even boot the game, even though they were able to play the beta, or they were able to run the benchmark tool.
How does that work?
Good ass question.
Random something is preventing them from actually booting the game up. And you know, there are people out there who are literally trying to help people troubleshoot, get the game running. So when it comes to optimization on the Steam store, majority, if not all of the reviews are actually, if it's negative, it's literally referencing the optimization. There are people who are saying that the game is amazing to play, but it is optimized like crap and it does not perform well, because remember last week we just had a conversation about quality versus frame rate.
Right.
And at one point in time, having a game run at 30 frames per second was adequate. Now you could have a game that is at maximum ugly, but if it ran 240 frames per second, everybody loves it. As
Mhm.
long as it performs well. It could be
Mhm.
maximum ugly. It could be the ugliest thing. People don't care about graphics as much anymore. People care about frames. We asked that question amongst our cast here. People care about frame rates. You don't want to be delayed. It's a competition at this point.
That
You
game could be a
can't,
butterface.
the human eye can't even see past 60 frames per second. But it's important with your computer that you have higher frame rates, because I know that the question becomes, well, why do we make things past 60 frames if the human eye can't detect anything past 60 frames? It's because monitors have a thing called ghosting. So if something is moving really quickly at 60 frames, you might actually see, little trails, you know what I'm saying, or shadows or whatever. Like it's the way the light moves. Whereas if your monitor refreshes at a faster rate, it actually stays a sharper image for longer, because the monitor is keeping up with that movement as it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the purpose of having higher frame rates, 200, 120, whatever, 144. Like that's the difference in the purpose of having monitors that go that high when we may not be able to see and or detect it. It's because it's information that's being put out to us, and so it's information that our brain has to process, and we can actually physically see some of the trails. Like if I wave my hand like this, and instead of seeing my hand look like this, it looks like this. That's because my hand is only moving at 30 frames per second. Well, it's moving in real life, but the camera is only capturing in 30 frames.
Yep.
Even though my camera can capture it at 60. That's the way that the information is processed. Now, with that being said, because the game has so much trouble on anything that's not a pretty high-end system, when it comes to optimization, I'm gonna have to give it 1 point out of 2. Giving it 1 point out of 2 because it still runs. There are my personal experience, I've still gotten 60 frames. I have gotten those frame dips on PC that you guys have said. I actually keep my frame data up in the corner so that I can monitor my frames. The most that I've seen while in game is somewhere around 70. The least that I've seen, and that was while I was like streaming on I was like streaming it on Discord or something, but the least that I saw was like 36.
Which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
It's just not dropping down to like.
And I turned off
single
hardware
digits.
acceleration too. So that also, like, at least when I'm streaming on Discord, I turned off hardware acceleration. So that
Like
kind
if, like if you would have dropped to like an 18 or 20, that would have been like, oh god.
if I drop to 18 or 20 on a 3080, that's a big of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, nope.
That's an uninstall.
Big ol' uninstall.
Big uninstall.
So now we're
Pack
at
it burst
4
on the
points for
side.
Monster Hunter Wilds. Gameplay loop, replayability. The game does things even after you complete the first little piece of the story. So by the time you get to what is still considered the story, is chapter 4. It has you doing more stuff to keep you playing and keep you exploring, because now it's explained something completely different now that you solved the problem. The problem is gone, but something else is going on, just like every other Monster Hunter does.
Mhm.
It's like I said, you start coming to expect certain things. So 2 points, because it keeps you looped in, it keeps you wrapped up. Fun factor and difficulty. I've seen reviews say that this game was a little too easy, that this game can alienate some of its older players or some of its veterans. I'm gonna have to disagree. The difficulty, it cranks up at certain times, like you hit certain levels, and all of a sudden the difficulty goes from here, like where you like, oh, all these fights are easy, and all of a sudden it just hits you with a spike, boom.
Then that health
Like-
bar don't seem as big anymore. It's like, oh damn.
Right. There was I'm just gonna
Partner,
describe
help!
it because you may have seen it in the trailer. There was a water monster that was a difficulty spike.
Yep.
That was your first difficulty spike. If you played the beta, then the final monster in the beta was a difficulty spike. Another difficulty spike was something that happens in the story and some monsters that you fought get taken away somewhere. The thing that takes them away was a difficulty spike.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about now. That was a difficulty
Mhm.
spike. I literally thought that I just hit high rank all of a sudden because the way that I was getting hit, my health was going from full to half in one hit. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. What happened? So it's a difficulty spike. So the difficulty is not brutal or abusive like it could be in certain Souls games or Souls-like games. It's fun because the weapons and the combat feel so much better. So I give it 2 points there. So all in all, my numbered review for Monster Hunter Wilds on PC is an 8 out of 10.
It's pretty
On
good.
PlayStation or Xbox, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's different because you don't run into the same optimization problems. Now, there's one other thing that I did not include, which is another reason why it might be an 8.5 on PlayStation and PC. And that's because of the clunkiness of how to get multiplayer going.
Yeah.
It can be a little difficult, especially if you're in a link party or figuring out how to put a link party together. It can be a little difficult it could be a little difficult when you're in a link party and now you start a mission and automatic invite is being sent out to all of your friends who you're in a link party with, but none of them can join because they ain't seen the cutscenes yet.
Yeah, they need to.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a little dumb. It's a little annoying.
It's so that you don't get spoiled on story monsters.
Yeah.
Huh?
If you've seen the like before a monster, but like the thing is in Monster Hunter, before a monster shows up or when a monster is showing up, like you're gonna go through a little bit of story cutscenes, blah blah blah. Monster's gonna be introduced, it's gonna show up, and then it puts you in a place where you're actually the camera will like flip around or will line up so that you're facing down this monster. You the monster 1-to-1, and then it's gonna send out an invitation to your people to join that quest. If they've not done it and they've not been introduced to the monster, it's
Then
not
they
going to
can't do it.
allow them to join. They'll get the invitation, but they won't be able to accept it.
Oh, so it's basically like one of those level restrictions in certain other games.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
But like, say I was going through the story.
Do you think that that's intended?
Yes, it's intentional.
Okay, all right. That's what I was.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking that you meant. Like it wasn't just a fluke.
No, it's not a
or
fluke. It's
design
intentional.
flaw. Yeah.
But
It's
it
basically a
makes it
restriction.
awkward when you're playing with other people because obviously you want to be able to go through the story together. You want to be able to fight monsters together. And like now what you're telling me is I don't have to fight it, but I at least have to go through the cutscenes and my friend has to go through the cutscenes. Then one of us has to leave or accept the invitation that was sent out by the other person. So if we're doing it at the same time and my invitation goes out first, you have to finish your cutscene before you can hit the thing to join my fight. Or you have to have beaten that monster. I don't remember which one it is, but I think you just have to have seen the cutscene.
I mean, that was kind of something that I was that annoyed me like back in like on Warframe back when you know how when they introduced how you could onboard someone else's ship, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when you do missions to certain planets and certain parts of the map, if you haven't unlocked that specific, like you can unlock the planet, but if you haven't unlocked that specific part, you can't take part in that mission. So I'm just sitting on your ship, and you done trailed off onto this mission, and I'm like, but I can't play this. So now I got to go back and then play through the map to lead up to unlock this, and then double back and then piggyback off the invite you sent me to go into the. And I was at that point, I was like, that kind of sucks.
Now,
Especially
to counter that point, because I understand what you're saying. So I'm still going to give it a 9 out of 10, having thought about it further. But the reason I'm still going to give it a 9 out of 10 on PlayStation, it's not going to lose a point for that whole multiplayer thing, is because once you actually do get past the story piece, it's seamless. Like you could be out in the world and it'll say such and such sent you an invitation. If you're of level and you're ready to go and you already have your food buff and your everything is set up, like you don't have to go back to base camp. You can just hold the start button, open that little and look at your invitations, press the start button, look at your invitations, and then legitimately accept it, and then you can go right into it. Like you could be with the shits immediately. You don't have to wait for other people to be ready. Like accept and go. Just accept the part. Like that's it. It's smooth. It's seamless.
Wait,
So
Wait,
as
so if you don't have to wait for other people to ready, does that mean that like what's the limit size?
4.
So if two of y'all accept, two of y'all in this mission, and you're not waiting for the other two.
They come in when they're ready.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
literally,
that.
Yeah, literally, it's like, oh, I want to craft a weapon real quick. Go do that. Gotta get a food buff. Do
Yeah,
that, and
they
then
can choose to
then-
accept and
then
prep.
hop in the menu and be like, all right, accept, and then it puts you in the mission.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
choose to accept and prep. When the quest marker goes out, you already started that quest. If they accept and they choose to prep, that's on them. They can do whatever it is to get ready. But the other people who just want to get right into it will be brought right to the camp that's near wherever it is that you're going.
Mhm.
And you're brought into the same instance so you can fight the monster together.
Okay, all right, I like that.
So it's so smooth and
That's
seamless
flawless.
that it's love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, this is annoying, or this detracts from the game for me. So yeah, I'm still gonna keep it at a 9 out of 10. I'm not gonna make it lose points because of something that just happens during the story to prevent spoilers. So
Yeah.
that's my in-depth, honest review of Wilds.
And not only that, but also, which I haven't tried yet since we just done missions and stuff. But I think also when you're in a link party, can't all of us just literally ride right outside through the entire world together? And yeah,
You
so
can
yeah, you
choose
can do that.
You can choose to have a private link party lobby.
You just ride all through the lands. And
You can also have five different squads. A squad is a bunch of people. Like you can have up to 70 people, I believe, in a squad.
Mhm.
And so you could literally have a private squad lobby.
Yep.
And the lobby will adjust based upon the size of the squad.
a squad's
Hmm.
basically like a guild.
Yeah, it's a guild.
So
So
it's cross-platform, by the way.
yeah,
y'all.
cross-play, cross-platform.
We-
So
we-
that
we
means
should-
that if I wanted Hustle and Raijin in the squad, which I do have to add y'all as friends, invite
We're in the
y'all to the squad.
Yeah, I requested to join the squad. Just gotta pop me in.
Huh?
I asked for a squad invite. So
Okay.
And I'm in your
Okay.
squad now.
Yeah, so like, but by all means, like this way we can start doing squad lobbies and stuff like that. And a lot of people didn't know that you could have up to 5 squads. So
I didn't know
just
that.
because you're in one doesn't lock you out of having others. You can have 5 different squads. I'm in 4 now. I just created one because I wanted one where all of my friends who, play the game will have easy access. But 5
We
different
need an mission
squads.
start button one.
You can choose what squad is active, etc. So yeah, I think that the multiplayer improvements beat out the one little annoyance. So honestly, it's balanced out. It doesn't lose a point for me there.
The fact that it has crossplay is a
That's also another thing with multiplayer.
Mhm.
bonus.
Crossplay.
You
There are
don't
so
get
many-
to miss
there
out
are
on
so
playing with
many
your
games.
friends.
There's so
like
many
in
games
previous.
that on like even in open beta or demo that don't do crossplay, but then do it later on. It's like, why did you allow this from the beginning? Because that would have gave me another wow factor and quality
Yep.
of life factor if you would have allowed this from the jump.
In 2025, crossplay, or at least, again, like we said before on this podcast, if you're not going to give me crossplay, give me cross progression. Bare
Yes.
minimum cross
Yes.
progression. So at least I could take my save data over to something else instead of having
Yeah,
to start
Because
all
I
over
have the
again.
game on PS5 and PC.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have
like-
cross progression.
I don't care. Yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
mind. Fine.
That's
I'll-
how I felt.
I'll-
That's how I felt last week,
That's-
Tones, when I
that's
told
why-
you that I started playing Wuthering Waves on the PS5, and I was like, yeah, and then I loaded it up, and then I logged in, and it was like, choose your character. And I was like, bro, what you mean? I already got a character.
You can restore your data, right? You didn't sign in. Okay.
Yeah,
I signed in under the same account that I use
Mm.
on PC.
And
What you
honestly,
saying,
that's the main reason why I bought 2 copies of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, because you could transfer the character from
One place to another.
to the 3DS version.
Yep.
Play on both. Transfer them back to console. Like I was like, oh man, I really want to keep playing Monster. I want to like do some carver while I'm out on the train or travel or something like that. Boom, transfer my character to 3DS.
Yep.
And then bam, right back to console. It was like so well done that way. Like more games need to do cross-platform, because honestly, that would give breadth of life into a lot of games if you didn't have to worry about where you bought it from. Just because your other friends got a different console, they might not have PC, or they do have PC, you don't got a PC, and you just keep playing. That will boost a lot of these games' numbers. But
they can do it, because I mean, Warframe did it, and it wasn't something that was initially there. That wasn't something that was even thought of at one point when it was first out. Now you got cross progression, you got cross save, cross play guilds or clans, I should say.
Yeah, at one point, I remember when Warframe first started, it was cross save, and it wasn't cross progression, it was cross save.
Yeah.
And then they upgraded it to cross progression, and I was just like, why you couldn't do that from the start?
Because that would have made sense.
And wait, hey, hold on, and then
I don't know.
when they first started doing it, they put a time limit on it, and it was like early February. You had about a month to get it done, and then they closed off the option of doing it for the rest of the year.
They did that shit with Grand Theft Auto.
What they did?
Yeah, you used to be able to transfer your data back and forth between PC and console. And they
didn't put a time limit on it, did it?
Like my shit that's on PC now for Grand Theft Auto Online, that was from my PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
All the way from the PlayStation 3.
Jesus Christ.
Now, so with everything that we've just discussed when it comes to Monster Hunter, right? I just want to ask, like, we've already asked, like, how much experience you guys have had. Token, have you ever played any Monster Hunter games? Do you have?
Yeah, Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what is the best part of the game and the worst part of the game to you?
Of World?
No, I'm talking about Wilds right now. We're still on Wilds.
Best part so far is definitely the improvements to all the weapons, whether it be new combos, maneuverability, just making all the weapons fun. The only thing I haven't tried yet is I think because our old crew, I think I was the only one that had the patience to play Hunting Horn, so I want to try the new Hunting Horn out.
But, I mean, Hunting Horn was actually really good in not Wilds, Rise.
Yeah.
Yes.
The last time I played Hunting Horn, like hardcore, was actually for Ultimate. Now I think about it, like I didn't really play it too much in World, but because I didn't really have that many people to play with. Like it was like me, Hustle, and like but random times and whatnot. But the worst thing is I'm gonna go to my spoiler. It's not a spoiler. I know y'all experienced too. The 2 other people here to play it. When you pick some up and your pouch is full, and it pops up that damn screen that you gotta cover the whole screen, close it out, cancel it, just for it to say, "Oh, you want to send it to your item box?" Do that by default if I don't got slots left. I don't know if there's a setting. I couldn't find a setting for it.
At least it's not like World, where if you went to pick it up and you didn't have no room, you had to drop it.
I'm glad that is a major quality of life change that I'm glad they did.
You are not wrong. I
get Ryzen's annoyance with that.
Because it can happen during a fight and your whole screen gets covered. Then you gotta panic, cancel out, like, oh shit. And so you're not trying to get hit by something. Like if you accidentally like sling the wrong thing and it's gonna add something to your slot and you didn't know your pouch, you're fully kitted up, you got all your traps, armor skins, demon drugs, blah, all that nonsense. You accidentally grab something, kind of add to your inventory. It's like, oh, you want to swap something in your pouch? Like, no. Can you just go to the damn box? Like, I mean, you gotta let me know you want to go to the box. So, like, I don't know. It's like,
yeah, I was gonna say, like, treat it like Pokemon. Like if my team is full, send it to the box. if my inventory for items is full, send it to the box.
Yeah, that's
Except
my main
Pokemon doesn't do that anymore. For items, at least. If your inventory is full, it don't send it to the box. It tells you, hey, dump something and take this.
Yeah.
And your favorite weapon this time around?
I'm really digging Sword and Shield. Like I didn't play it in the beta too much, so I didn't get to see all the changes from like
It actually got improved a lot.
yeah. I didn't realize all the changes from like World to Rise because I like using a World too, but like my main thing in World I use a lot was obviously always Great Sword and like Gun Lance and I got a little bit with the Insect Glaive and Switch Axe, but Sword and Shield just feels so good now, especially when you get them block clashes. Like it's so satisfying.
Yeah. What about you, Hustle? What do you normally use, Rajan?
Great Sword, not usually Great Sword. That's usually what I end up.
That's a
getting.
crazy diametric opposite.
I'm a filthy longsword user, and I always have been ever since they made.
Watch your ankles, son.
Ever since they made the katana, because the katana used to be a great sword skin, and then they made it its own separate weapon. And when they made its own separate weapon, that's why I was just like, I love this weapon class. I'm still using longsword, but I'm tempted to use greatsword because there's a lot of really nice looking greatswords. I'm just like, I want to build that. I think that's gonna be my secondary. Or
I actually think that. What you mean? You think that's gonna be your second? You don't have a secondary yet?
Not yet. A secondary might possibly. I want to commit to using a bow gun at one point. I've been wanting to for like the longest time. I just never have.
I've been using a bow.
See, that's my
go-to.
But let's be honest.
In Worlds, that was my go-to bow.
Let's be honest.
In this.
Bow gun wasn't really good until 4.
The heavy bow gun
yeah.
The heavy bow. Even Team Darkside did a review on the strongest hunter, the strongest weapon in each Monster Hunter game. Most of them ended up being heavy bow gun.
It ain't feel great. It ain't feel like great to play. That's for me. I'm saying for me.
It doesn't feel good to play.
Yo, hold on. But
it was the strongest weapon.
Listen, I remember when you were forced to be in first person mode with the fucking heavy bow gun. That shit was awful. You remember that, E?
Yep.
Not fun times at all. Now you can shoot in third person, and it's got all these nice little additions to it. I would yeah. Okay, so favorite thing for me, combat, one of it. It doesn't feel like you have to be locked into a certain play style, like I was saying before. It feels like I haven't tried all the other weapons, but as someone who uses longsword, you're not waiting to just dump your red gauge like you used to be able to before. Because now keeping onto your red gauge has benefits to it. You have more damage. You have better combo attacks.
Way better combos. But did you also know breaking wounds levels up your gauge?
Yeah.
Doing counters levels up your gauge. Like when you do your EI sheath and then you do the iframes to get like counter through levels up your sword gauge. Yeah.
Even your dodge is different when you have red gauge. Your dodge is different now. It's like they did so many improvements to that weapon class. I'm so happy with that. But yeah, so the weapons, the combat, A1, love that. The areas are amazing in this, and they're so different from each other. Like, I'm not spoiling anything because there's already a trailer with the Ice Shard Cliffs. That region is insane looking. Like, it looked like some Northern Crater Final Fantasy type shit. Tell me y'all didn't get Northern Crater vibes from the Ice Shard Cliffs.
I'm gonna be honest. The Ice Shard Cliffs annoyed me immediately.
Why?
Because I got jumped.
By what? I mean, damn. Are you talking about
first thing you see in the Ice Shard Cliffs?
Is it Hirabami? Oh, that
Yeah.
was annoying.
Yeah, they do straight up just jump you.
That is true. Yeah. But the area itself is gorgeous, though. That
Yeah,
is like
absolutely.
that is impressive. Like, I want to know how they keep coming up with more crazy locations in the Monster Hunter games as time keeps going on. Because I thought like the pinnacle was the Coral Highlands in World, because that was insane looking. And now we got the Ice Shark Cliffs, then we got the oil spot. That's crazy looking too. And the forest is insane. This is and there's each area has its own life going on, its own ecosystem. Each one of these biomes feels like its own separate ecosystem. But all these different creatures running around, all these different things that are happening, and how everything interacts with each other. And least favorite. There's not really much that I don't like, but I think that random difficulty spike that happens. It was annoying, but it wasn't that. It wasn't
Which
terrible.
one? Because there were multiple.
When that thing that grabs things up.
Okay.
I was like, yo, this is. I beat that with no carts.
I found myself healing more.
I beat that with no carts, but that was still an annoying
Okay.
fight. I was just like, yo.
I just used all of my I used 8 out of 10 mega potions.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, same.
That fight, like it wasn't like particularly difficult. That was an intimidating fight though, because of where you had to fight it. It was such a weird looking monster compared to some other ones in the hit series. So it's just like, it's like, you know, you fight some other monsters, whether it's a brute wyvern or like a Temnosaurn, like, or something like that. It's like, okay, this is gonna come at me fairly predictably.
The other thing that looked like that was worse though.
Yeah.
It was not as difficult of a fight, even though it was a more difficult fight.
You talking about that Bloodborne boss?
I don't know. I never played Bloodborne.
Oh,
But you know,
The one that looks like an
it's
Elden
shooting
Ring boss.
stuff and doing this and doing that and sliding through cracks in the walls, and I'm just like,
Yeah, the one that looks like an Elden Ring boss. That mother. You played Elden Ring enough to know that.
sure.
Like a,
That was.
I was
that
like, yo, I
that was
don't think
100%.
the one that looks like it don't belong in the game. That one.
That was it.
I was
was it.
like, yo, what the is this?
I think I beat on
Did
it
you
like
get lost?
6 times yesterday. Like, wrong franchise, buddy. Wrong
Bro, I
franchise.
look at it, it's just like, bro, are you sure you belong in this game? I think you got lost at like FromSoft. Like, go back there. That's where you belong at. You're supposed to be in a FromSoft game.
All right. So, what is one piece of advice that you would give to a brand new player, and this is their first Monster Hunter
Actually go into the feline training area, practice the weapons, because that first tutorial mission, they where it just jumps you in, you save the kid, you learn the secret riding. You're not gonna really learn anything from that. I would definitely pop in there, practice the weapons out. Try a couple, like don't try all of them, because that's gonna be like ridiculous to do one. Like try like 3 or 4 different weapons.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, try some more out. Like if you're looking at the crafting, you see one that looks cool, maybe go try that starter one first before you put the resources into it. But that's
I was gonna say same thing too.
Okay. So,
One piece,
hmm?
I was gonna say another piece of advice I have to people who are new to the game or new players and everything. Don't get discouraged if you get into a fight and you're getting like obliterated by the monster. You can always call an SOS, and if real players don't show up, you get very I think that should be praised too. The very capable AI NPCs that come
never
in.
used them.
Huh?
I never used them.
Never have?
No,
I use
not
them,
in this game.
I used them in the first beta, for a while, just to see, because I was curious what it
I
did.
didn't use them.
They're very capable. They're like, they know, like, it's weird that they've made NPC hunters that help you that actually know what the fuck they're doing. So
I mean, the ones in Rise were pretty decent.
Yeah, they built off of that with this one. So if you're new to it and you're getting, bought by a monster, just call in your SOS. It'll either bring in real players, it'll bring in them, and it'll help you with your fight. You don't have. Here's the thing: the game. There's people who pride themselves on being solo hunters and all that, but the game is literally built to be around multiple people, not just a solo experience. So go in, knowing that.
Don't be too proud to ask for help.
Yeah, don't be too proud to ask for help.
Somebody
It's a
will
group
come.
effort.
People got cooties though.
All right.
The community is
So-
very friendly.
This game has been called the most beginner-friendly Monster Hunter game to date. Do you agree?
I think so.
And
I only reason I disagree is that I think the starter world is more beginner friendly than Wilds is.
but I think this game would hold a beginner more than World would, because I've
Yes.
literally witnessed people quit World.
Yeah, we have.
Barroth.
Sad man. Yeah, Barroth was a stupid monster to put in Wildspire Wasteland. Could have been any other monster, realistically.
Now, for new players, why should someone keep playing it after the game is over? So basically, why is the rolling of the credits not the end of the game?
Because you get new monsters added, you get new events added. There are good collab events, like they did the Mega Man ones, the Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, all those ones they did. Whatever the expansion pack is gonna be dope as hell. Because all the last expansion packs we've gotten have been fucking great for Monster Hunter.
Amazing.
But it's like what's in the game now isn't what it's always going to be. And also it gets changed up even like with the base stuff, like when you get the high rank and then or eventually when master rank eventually gets unlocked and stuff like that. It's always interesting playing with people, trying new weapons, eventually getting new monsters, because what we're supposed to be getting a new monster and the feline kitchen next month.
Right.
And,
Yeah. In the Gathering Hub.
In the Gathering Hub.
Gathering Hub, yeah.
We're getting all that next month as a free update, not like part of the little paid pass I think they were advertising.
My thing is they do free updates all the time.
Yep.
They add in more missions and more everything and free updates for like a year, almost a year and a half. Then they'll put out an expansion that expands the game and the story so much that it makes it worth it to pay the money that they asked for.
Yeah, those expansions are basically an entirely new game.
Yeah. And
Also,
how much content
those collab events are great, because I remember in Monster Hunter World, I had my Palico dipped out and looked like Mega Man.
Yeah.
Because that was a collab event they did. You do some
That
arena
sounds
quests,
fucking awesome.
do some arena quests, you craft the armor, and then like, oh snap, they had you had Ryu set from Street Fighter as hunter armor you could wear.
Oh yeah.
They had Devil May Cry weapons.
Oh, the Alistair.
Didn't they also have Resident Evil?
They had a whole Dante
skins?
outfit.
Yeah, they had Resident Evil skins too. Dante's
Yep.
out for 300. Like they always do crazy stuff like that. And then like obviously in World, when they did the big Final Fantasy crossover, they added Behemoth as a monster in World, which was
Lao
insane.
Shenlong.
Yeah,
And you got the armor, and you got the
Oh.
insect glaive,
Yeah.
which also had the
The
Dragoon
Geralt.
emote.
They had the Geralt from The Witcher.
Right.
they
The
did have the
Geralt,
Witcher
yep.
event. Yeah, they always have crazy stuff that it's like it's not even like spaced out. You gotta wait for it. It's like every other week.
Compounded.
There's every other week. There's a cool event to do, and maybe like once a month there's a collab event. And then I'm not sure if every free title update's gonna be every month. I know the first one's coming next month, but probably every 2-3 months there should be a decent new title update. Potentially add a new monster. Not
It
sure how
goes
many they're gonna-
spring, summer, fall, winter.
Yeah, so you probably have a
Title
few
update.
new monsters before whatever the expansion about. But like Monster Hunter now, as it works, is definitely one of the best live service because it technically is live.
It's a
service.
living game.
Yeah, it's one of
They
the
do
best
Christmas
examples of a live
events.
service.
They do Thanksgiving events.
And there is also 2 monsters that were not ready at launch that were supposed to be in the game that are coming as well too. So I don't know if that's going to be in the first update, but they are on their way. And it may or may not be a fan favorite, that has been requested for a long time. We don't know yet, but allegedly that is one of the monsters coming back, and I would love for people to experience that for the first time. That was a great monster and great looking weapons and armor too. So, actually, both of those have really great armor and weapons. If they are the rumored monsters that were cut from the final copy because they weren't finished yet. I hope they. Yo, if that is true, I am gonna freak out.
Now, like Josh Nelson said, definitely step out of your comfort zone. Try some different weapons. Quan said the sacred is your best friend. Don't be afraid to use it in the fight. If you get knocked down and you're stuck on the ground, press up on the D-pad. Let your savior come scoop you up. It'll take you out of danger to save your life. Now, one thing that I do want to say is that basically this game improves on a lot of different things that people had issues with, and I'm sure that there's a lot more updates to come. The credits rolling is not the end of the game. To be honest with you, once the credits roll, you are in chapter 4.
Yeah, honestly, when you think about it, when you really think about it, the credits rolling is the tutorial at being done.
Yeah.
When you really those first credits
you are still in chapter 4 when the credits roll. When you fight the big bad boss and you are still in chapter 4. You are just welcome to high rank. Welcome to the other side of the game.
Where the
like
real game.
It's like welcome to the actual game. It's like, what do you mean the actual game? Welcome to the actual game. Like,
because they still actually give you direction and tell you what you need to do. They still actually give you things to do.
Like you'll notice, you'll notice that monster list after you beat the boss. You're like, wait, that's a lot of space still left on there.
You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of that
space still left there.
That reminded me of that one manga, like after MC beat the that boss that all the worlds, all the different countries of the world were trying to beat, and he damn near died beating it, and it was like tutorial over. And it was
season
like,
2.
Wait, what?
Sword Art Online.
And here's season 2. Like, wait, what? It continues. It continues.
Well, like tutorial over. There are now safe zones. Welcome to the open world.
Why is it continuing?
Yeah, but legitimately, just if you're finding yourself getting frustrated, call for help. If you think that the game is too hard, call for help. Play with somebody. It will become that much of a better game to you just to have people with you. Don't get discouraged. Keep playing. I was not good at Monster Hunter when I first started playing, and eventually I grew to love it. You know what I'm saying? My first Monster Hunter was on PSP, and I started with a bow when you had one joystick, and it was not fun at all.
Yeah, that was rough.
And my first weapon was a bow because I wanted to be far enough away and I wanted to be safe. And on top of that, when you had a ranged weapon, you had a whole different set of armor that had less defense. So you still got wrecked if you got hit. It was just different back then. So
also didn't have all these really cool armor skills back then too.
Yeah,
I don't think armor skills were a thing until
3,
I believe, when they started really getting with the decorations and everything.
Like Try, 3 Ultimate or whatever. Yeah.
No, 3 on the Wii. Yeah, 3 on the
Ultimate.
Wii. Yeah, Try.
Yeah. So now you got things like Divine Blessing. That's a very good beginner-friendly skill to have.
Yes,
Divine Blessing will save your ass.
Yes, it will.
You start off with armor that has that on it too.
I love seeing that pop up. Like, thanks, bro.
Exactly. You got it, Chief. You got it, Chief. So,
and your starter armor 100%. Has Divine Blessing. So there you go.
100%. If you feel like, all right. To be fair, the first Monster Hunter you played it right before World was coming, and you realized that you had to go from zone to zone. And that was Monster Hunter Generations or Generations Ultimate or something like that. So it's fair that you hated that. It's a whole different experience now. I'm glad you're in love with it now. With that being said, we've been here for quite a while. I knew we would talk about Monster Hunter for quite a bit. We
As
will
it
not be
deserves.
here next week, but the following week we will be joining you again. Again, thank you for joining us. I've had a good time. I'm sure they've had a good time. Token has been falling asleep like we didn't see it. It's
I wasn't
okay.
asleep.
We noticed.
I
They
wasn't asleep.
noticed.
That man's
We
playing
let it
Tekken.
ride.
He thought we
I
were
didn't even notice. But we did.
We just let it ride.
No,
But I
I
had
wasn't
to point it
asleep.
out because I
I
told
was
him
on my
going to.
phone. I was on my phone because I had to look for stuff, and then I got pissed off that I was on Game Pass. I was like, I'm gonna go get Monster Hunter Wilds, and it wasn't on Game Pass. And I was like, let's go to Steam. And I was like,
No, sometimes you have to pay.
$17.
Sometimes you have to buy games, not put them on layaway.
If you
Also,
if
if
you
you guys want a discount, go to greenmangaming.com. Boom.
or you can go to Fanatical. I got the game for like $57 from Fanatical.
Yeah,
I would like to donate to.
I think
Token.
Green Man's got that right now. Like that same price.
Yeah.
let's see, Green Man
So
Gaming.
Green Man.
Green Man Gaming. Yes.
Yeah, I
So
got it.
if you were looking to I did not set you up. But if you're looking to buy Monster Hunter for PC and you want a discount, then Fanatical was a good option, or Green Man Gaming for discounts. If you're looking to get it on PlayStation, if you have the PlayStation app and you've signed up for PlayStation Stars and you have points, you can actually redeem your points for $20 off, like a $20 PlayStation coupon or something like that, or like a $20 PlayStation gift card, and that'll take $20 off of your total purchase.
Yep.
I
So,
did not
very
know that was.
different.
I did not know it was a goddamn thing because I haven't checked the damn PlayStation Stars thing since it launched. So
Yeah,
who
right.
knows?
Wow.
Who knows what I got on there? It's like, I know I said
He
it.
might
up.
have a shit ton.
I said
Bro
it.
got
up.
hundreds. Bro got hundreds of points.
Oh, just sitting there with
There
tons
have
of
been
money, just
multiple
sitting,
games
just
that
on the
I have-
table.
Yeah.
Because there have been games where I've bought 2 gift cards that were like $20 a piece and just got the game for like $30, $20.
Damn near nothing.
Yep.
Mhm.
So yes,
They have a spring sale. In Green
make
Man
sure
Gaming.
to always check for the maximum discounts. You're still supporting. Like, we just want you to be able to play the games that you enjoy for less money. So if you buy your games on the PlayStation Network and you normally buy them over the PlayStation Network, make sure you sign up for like that PlayStation Stars thing. It's right in your PlayStation app. It's all integrated. So, either way, again, thank you for coming out. We hope that you have a wonderful next couple of weeks. We hope that you stay safe, stay hydrated. We love you, and we will see you later. And remember that if there's ever anything you want to do, all you got to do is press the start button.
Please.
Or pay
Out there
somebody.
hunting monsters.